Hello, everyone, and welcome back to my travel adventures through Czechia and Austria. Now, in the last videos, you saw we were in Prague doing a tour of the Prague Castle. And after finishing up in Prague, we were heading down to Austria. And before we get to Austria, places like Salzburg, Werfen, Vienna, all that, we stopped off in this beautiful medieval Bohemian city, large town called Cesky Krumlov. Now, a couple of reasons I wanted to go there. One, it's beautiful. Two, you get to do this fun rafting experience down the Vltava River. This is the same river that cuts through Prague as well. Now, there are different rafts, canoes. They have large rafts that you can rent. And there are even different rentals you can do as far as doing a 1 hour rafting tour through the center of town. Or like Zach and I, you can do the 4 hour rental. It's really longer than that. They just say return it by 6. So basically, don't party too hard. As you can see, a lot of people drinking and partying on the river. But as long as you get it back before close, you're fine. And so I think we had like 5-6 hours to do this whole thing. There was a little bit of rain, but this was a lot of fun. Going down the river, they have these floating barges or barges, little people tied up with a cooler selling beers and stuff. So we got a few beers along the way. And as you do this rafting adventure, there are about half a dozen of these sets of rapids and these little channels. They're well marked, so you can't miss them. And they're also a lot of fun to go down. They do warn you if you're in a raft our size or the smaller canoe, if you go in sideways in a couple of those, you can flip over. People have flipped over, but yeah, you don't want to go over those. But like I said, it is well marked off. And we just had a great time. This is one of the main things I wanted to do in Czechia, and so we didn't want to miss this before heading into Austria. Here we got a crowd of people watching. Now this is Zach recording, and something you're not going to be able to see from his view, well, kind of, is that as we went down those rapids, I'm laughing because he fell off his seat there, and yeah, it was just pretty fun experience overall. So we took our time doing this. There's no rush. You didn't have to worry about being back in time unless you are stopping off at every place you can to get a drink. And there were some people getting wasted, having too much fun, kind of like your classic river float experience if you've ever done one before. But we just took things casually and had a great time. Lots of beautiful views of the Bohemian countryside. Now, this is in southwest Czechia. Later on, after Zach and I go through a bit of Austria, we go our separate ways. He goes into Budapest and then flies to Portugal before going home. And I go back north, fly out of Prague, and I'll be stopping in Mikulov, which is in the southeast, the Moravian region, where there's a lot of wine. So I'll be back in that area of Moravia. This is still technically Bohemia. Here we are getting back into Cesky Krumlov, into the city itself, going down another set of rapids, if you will. And they're really nothing to worry about. If you go through them somewhat straightish, you'll be absolutely fine. You don't have to worry about flipping over unless you're being absolutely stupid on your raft, but there is never any worry about tumbling over. There you see some bars, restaurants on the side. We stopped at a cafe on the right side of this river earlier in the day. And here as you get into downtown Cesky Krumlov, just look at this castle. This castle started to be built in the 13th century. And we just loved how this was built on top of this little ridge, this mountain ridge. And they made it look so seamless. Like the castle itself was part of the former mountain. The way it looks so smoothed out, you don't know where the mountain ends and the castle begins. So really cool how they did that all the way starting in the 13th century. So beautiful place. The castle tower in front there is really unique as well. A lot of sort of strange details for a tower that I've never seen before. I'll have some close-ups of that. And there you see up and to the left, there's some people up here. Like, that looks beautiful. There's statues up there. I want to go up there. And after we finish our river float, not too much later in this video, we go back to the B&B, shower, change, and head back there. So absolutely beautiful place, something out of a fairy tale type story. And I'm really glad I stopped off here. You do need a day. I do recommend doing the river float in any way you can. Here's other people going down a set of rapids with their fake duck and floaty. So that's what it looks like from the other side. But here we're walking, and you'll go to the left of that bridge, up some stairs, and then here you are at the start of the castle grounds. As you get up there, it's like a 5-minute walk, you get this beautiful view of Cesky Krumlov, and there's that unique, interesting tower I told you about. And here's those statues that I showed you earlier before. Now, the little shelf on the left, do be careful. I sat down there and I looked behind him, like, whoa. If you were to lean back, you could easily fall off of that and go 200 feet down to the ground. So no rails there or anything, but the shelf on the right is a little bit higher. There's a statue of Saint Anthony of Padua on the left. It's my patron saint, so shout out to Saint Anthony of Padua. And again, more beautiful views of the Vltava River in downtown Cesky Krumlov. Here's inside the castle grounds. It's weird. This looks like wallpaper, like it's painted on. And again, you keep getting more and more different angles of views of the city, which is cool. And I just love all these details on the castle tower itself. Now, what's really interesting as you walk closer up to this tower is there's a couple of bears randomly right underneath the tower in this caged off area, brown bear of some sort. But just thought this was super interesting and random, just a couple of brown bears right underneath the tower. I have no idea why. But anyways, sun was coming out, had to get any footage I could of Cesky Krumlov. Beautiful place, worth the detour. And in the next videos that you'll see me and Zach, we will be in Salzburg and into Austria. So I will see you all then.